Hey, my name's Jake Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the new Zoopla data. You see, they're saying that the market has really picked up, and that goes against data that we've had from other lenders, including Nationwide, Halifax, solicitors, surveyors. They've said that the market's really quiet. In fact, the expectations are that the market would only sell 500,000 more properties. Well, Zoopla are saying that the market unexpectedly picked up in May. So we're going to break down where that's happening, why that's happening, and much more. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 43,000 subscribers. You can see around this video how close we are. We should hit it this weekend. And let's get some more views on this video by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to the like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that's really helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So what's going on? Well, Zoopla have got their own data. And Zoopla, just in case you don't know them, I'm sure you do, but if you don't, they are a property portal just like Rightmove. They're the second biggest portal. And I use Zoopla myself when I'm looking to get a rough idea on what my house price is worth. And so they have some pretty good data on that. And so that's why I use Zoopla. I don't really look on there for new properties. But they are saying that the market has picked up. And they're saying that it's a 4-year high this May. And that's good. So they haven't seen May be this busy since May 2021, when we were in the pandemic. And at that time, I believed that house prices were going to crash because it just made sense. We were locked down, businesses had to borrow so much money, we had furlough schemes and lots of other stuff that was making it really hard for a lot of people. In fact, that's just before I started this channel. And at that time, I was looking for a property with my daughter, Georgia. And we started looking in Birmingham first before ultimately buying in Doncaster. And we went to view a few properties there where there were literally queues of people viewing the property. It was absolutely mental. Everyone wanted to become an investor. Lots of people had money because they hadn't spent money from the year prior. And the market was busy. So if they're saying they're seeing that back at May 2021 levels, that means that the market could have bucked the trend. And so what they're saying is part of this is because there are 13% more listings. So there's a 13% in listings. And we've talked about that with Rightmove. They agree with that. That's the sort of data they're seeing. So there are more properties listed for sale at the moment. But what else are Zoopla saying has contributed to this? Is sales agreed that they're talking about as well, not just new buyers coming into the market. They're saying sales agreed are at 2021 levels. So that will be interesting to see how this does come out eventually. So they're saying that this is down to interest rate drops. And that makes sense. I mean, it was really constant, the interest rate videos that I was making. I couldn't fit them all in. There was just so many lenders constantly cutting rates for that period of time over the last 6 weeks or so. Now it's slowed down. And in fact, some lenders have put them up. But that would make sense, right? So rates did drop. Nearly all of the big lenders went under 4%. And that probably meant that some people thought, right, that's it. That gets a rate that I want to go and have a look at some property. Some other stuff happened as well. So the government told lenders to relax the rules on lending. And I have made some content around that recently as well. So what that meant was that lenders could lend you more money. And in fact, the Zoopla are saying that they estimate that the average buyer at the moment has 20% more money that they can invest in property than they did at the beginning of the year. 20% more. So that's due to the fact that they can borrow more money and the interest rates have come down. That will allow them to borrow more money as well. But a lot of it is down to the rules relaxing. You can borrow more times your salary with a number of lenders now. So that does make sense. that absolutely makes sense why the market might have moved a little bit according to Zoopla. And so they've given some data here as well about how many more listings we've got around the country. In some areas, it frustrates me when they don't get all the areas. They haven't, but they're saying in the southwest, so there's 21% more listings in the southwest. That's going to be second homes, isn't it? That's going to be a lot of second homes that people are selling. They're getting rid of those properties because some areas increased council tax significantly. Airbnb isn't as good as it was. I mean, after the pandemic, it was difficult to fly places. So Airbnb absolutely boomed in those times. Maybe they're having quieter years now because people are going more abroad, or maybe just people aren't spending on holidays. We'll find out that data probably by the end of the year. So the Southwest has got 21% more listings than it had this time last year. So that's a big increase. The Southeast has got 15% more listings than it had this time last year. That is a lot as well. And so that's going to be a lot of high value properties as well. They're not really moving very fast. They will have to look at taking lower prices for those properties, or they're just going to sit on the market for a very, very long period of time. And what's interesting here is the Northwest. And I want to tell you why that's interesting. So the Northwest has only got 3% more listings, and the Northwest has been really strong. Anywhere up north has been really strong with house prices. So if they're not getting an influx of additional houses up there, that means they're not going to drop the price, and you'll probably see more house price increases in the Northwest than you would in the Southwest or in the Southeast. That makes sense, doesn't it? So the Southwest is somewhere where you've got to look at prices. If you've got a huge uplift in the amount of properties that are for sale in that area, then it makes logical sense that at some point those prices could start to drop. Southeast as well, if you get lots of properties there and there isn't the buyers to match that on the back end, that's interesting to see where that ultimately ends up. So look, this Zoopla data is interesting. What we might see is Rightmove might come out with a video or some content soon and agree with this because they bring out their data at the beginning of the month, and this goes against the stamp duty increase. So the fact that the market continued to grow, I think a lot of it is down to the fact that you can now borrow more money, and interest rates, a lot of them did drop. And there are rates that are pretty good with smaller deposits. So you might get, once we see all this data settle, we might see that people have bought properties with smaller deposits to get around that stamp duty and those additional costs on the stamp duty. Time will tell. What do you think about this? Do you think the market is going to move one way or the other? Do you think this shows if we're getting more sales now that prices might go up a little bit this summer? Do comment below, do smash like, do subscribe. Make sure you check out all the other data as well on the channel, including this video right here.